Welcome everybody to another edition of the Showcase Pod. I am Don Vega, joined on time the boss Chris Blackheart this week.
I am. I didn't get detained by Warwick HD.
Oh, HD, HD something.
HD was something.
It wasn't at 3 in the morning, was it?
It was not at 3. Yeah, you're not calling me at 3 in the morning.
Right, so.
Well, I mean, if you do, there's one, you better be having a problem.
Okay.
Or
yeah.
2, you're going to be having a problem.
So we used to get calls at 3 in the morning.
Well, I was never that misfortunate, but okay. I think we had some good clarity last week.
Yeah, good.
Unexpected phone. It's amazing how hours change, because when I spoke with you early in the day, and then when I got here, it was totally different, and I think that's one thing. This is live. Mm-hmm. It's not taped. It's not edited.
Yeah.
It is raw. It is gritty. Some days people can say that is shitty.
Yeah.
But guess what?
There's a lot of people that hang around saying that it's shitty.
I guess it all depends what circle you hang in.
It is what it is.
Or what circle you run around in. Literally run. Yeah. Maybe run away is probably better.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, we had a lot of viewers last week. A lot of people watched the episode. Some people were upset. They were upset at you, Chris Blackheart.
Why? What did I do?
They were upset at you calling certain individuals a cancer to the business.
Well, when people are doing non-wrestling stuff to real people.
Well, you mean this wasn't something that the fans buy a ticket and they cheer or boo a character?
They can cheer, they can boo, they can make signs, but you're doing the... in
the show. Yeah.
In the show, in the venue, you can post, hey, Don Vega sucks online. Mm-hmm. Totally fine with that.
I've never had a problem with that. Nope. And for whatever reason...
You've never had a problem sucking, huh?
Well, not in that.
No, but the idea is, as a fan, perfect.
I never had a problem with, people going to shows and voicing their opinions and getting upset and trying to jump in the ring and attacking me or doing whatever they have to do as fans, when the show is going on.
Right.
But like I said here last week, apparently there's some people that either they didn't watch the show or they had selective viewing and hearing when it came to what I was saying. I said, once you get over that line where it's not something that is a character and a fan, I have a problem with that.
Well, I think it's funny, too, is when people love bringing stuff up. Yeah. And then when you actually do confront it and you bring it, to the forefront and you bring the truth, they don't like that. They don't like the truth because
people think they could get away with everything.
Well, and I think that's the problem.
No repercussions, no consequences.
Unlike a lot of fishermen, they believe in catch and release.
Yeah.
We don't believe in catch and release. We believe in catching and squashing.
Yeah.
So if you're a shitbag,
there's going to be a lot of squashing
and you
going
cross
on
the line
in the upcoming months here in the summertime.
And you've been doing it for a while, and a while can be more than 2 seconds. Mm-hmm. Some days, quiet is not good.
Well, some people need to take breaks and have continuations to certain stories that they don't know what to say. Yep. They don't know what the next chapter is.
No.
So, we will have a continuation, and we will have a lot of interesting things in the upcoming weeks here. But nonetheless, we are past WrestleMania, WrestleMania weekend, and everybody was waiting for the return of The Rock, and they wanted to see the outcome of the story with Roman Reigns and Cody, and we got to see a little bit of all that this past weekend. Your thoughts on WrestleMania?
It felt like the Super Bowl to me.
Yeah.
And I'm not a football guy. I'll watch it more, obviously, if the Patriots are playing. Mm-hmm. But it had that feeling because you've seen all the advertisement and you've seen all the commercialism with the whole thing. It felt bigger on a bigger level. Then you get all these sponsorships and mainstream media. Yeah. All the talk shows are picking up. So it felt bigger.
Yeah, it was supposed to be, the biggest WrestleMania ever, and to some people, in their opinions, it was. It was definitely a cold WrestleMania. I was down there, and the weather wasn't pretty.
I was not down there.
It was really cold, and
how cold was it?
It felt like going to a football game in the winter.
Yeah.
So, it was interesting, but nonetheless, they pulled it off, and that first night, there was the women's championship on the line as Rhea Ripley defended against the man Becky Lynch, and she retained that title. You watched any of that match?
I did. I watched. I did watch all of WrestleMania.
Oh, okay.
Do you know what? Instead of being like 7 hours in one day.
Oh, you watched it afterwards?
It was 4. No, because it was like 4 and 4. 4 hours the first night.
Yeah.
A little bit less on the second night. Yeah. No, I watched it. See, it's different because watching it as a fan perspective of what people want to give compared to watching it for, a trainer and a wrestler is a little bit different. I thought they had good momentum. It was a good match. Some things I didn't like, but I think the crowd was happy, and I think they set a pace for WrestleMania.
Yep. So speaking of pace, the next match was one of your favorites, and it was for the tag team championships, both brands, SmackDown and Raw.
All right, so
in a ladder match.
Yeah, so I did watch it, and it was one of the shots. You could see like the whole arena of how they set it up. And I'm like, well, I don't wonder why they're not worrying. No one's around. I mean, as in, there was plenty of room. It's not like with independent shows, it's small. Yeah. So it's like if a ladder falls, it's not going to fall, and no one's typically going to get hurt. So I watched it more because it wasn't us.
Well,
and the safety of it. And now I'm going to have to actually rewatch it again.
Well, it was us in a sense.
Well, and that's one of the reasons why I have to rewatch it. One of our guest trainers, Coach Ken,
was actually the producer of that ladder match with another individual that is one of my favorites.
Yes,
Mr. Noble. But that match featured Austin Theory and Grayson Waller. They won the SmackDown Tag Team titles, and then the big surprise, Miz and R-Truth becoming a tag team once again, because they were a tag team before.
Yeah, so it was like I missed some of it because usually when I watch Raw, I'm coming in from the training center. So I'm watching it between like 10:15, 10:30, 10:45.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, there was a point in time that R-Truth and The Miz were a tag team. Yeah. And this time around, a big one for R-Truth, a guy that's been around for a long, long time, especially in WWE, winning the tag team championship, the Raw tag team titles with The Miz. That match was fast-paced, hard-hitting, a lot of moments in that match.
I did like how they split the titles.
Yes.
So it was like, I think between storylines and feuds, I think that's really well. It gives both rosters somewhere to go. So that part I like. And that was probably one of the biggest things I got out of WrestleMania. The stories and possibilities of stories and feuds seem like they did it more and better this year than they have in the past.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of times WrestleMania is the end, and you can
it's
see
like building up new stories.
Yeah, and that part I really enjoyed. So I will be watching that again. So.
And speaking of continuing tag team matches, following match was Rey Mysterio and Andrade teaming up to take on Dominic Mysterio and Santos Escobar. We saw, Carlito not happy that he wasn't chosen for the match.
Did he have boo-boo face?
He had boo-boo face the prior week or whenever it was that they set up the final piece to that angle. But we'll see what happens. I'm waiting for a turn. I'm waiting for heel Carlito to rise to the occasion. So we'll see what happens there. Did you watch any of that match?
I did. I watched the match. It was fast-paced. I like to see Ray still going. He's going pretty good for, not older, was he 47, 48 now?
Yeah.
So and he's still doing, I hate to say the highlight reel, he's doing the stuff that he does well and that people want to see.
Oh, yeah.
I think Dominic, again, I didn't like him at the beginning, but when you start seeing how he's learning and the process he's been doing, he's getting there. He's going to be one of the top guys. I mean, not that he he's running now pretty well.
Yeah.
But I think when he gets literally physically bigger,
he's got a lot more mileage to go as far as stardom and the reach that he's gonna have when it comes to that scenario there. He's just beginning. We saw some of my favorites joining in this match. Philadelphia Eagle members were on hand, and they were a part of that matchup. I know you don't get into the football or anything.
No, like that. Once they said it, I'll say I knew who it was. But I'm looking at it, and I'm like,
Kels and Johnson were part of that match, and I'm sure Julio was enjoying it in the stands. He loved it. Not only to be surrounded by a whole stadium of green and silver.
Mm-hmm. Was Julio okay with that?
Yeah, he had no choice. So I think he was okay. Then the night took us to brother versus brother as Jey Uso. Main event, Jey Uso battle his brother Jimmy Uso. And to me, that was probably the disappointing matchup of the Saturday night WrestleMania.
All right, so I'll tell you, I know a lot of people were excited about the match originally.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you what I didn't like about it. All right? Gazillion super kicks. Now, it wasn't just this match. There was a lot of super kicks throughout the match, throughout WrestleMania. There was tons of super kicks. I hate sneaker. I hate non-wrestling gear. And this is me. You can say that's the old school guy being stubborn, And I don't like, obviously they're over, people like them. I think ring conditioning, he may be able to go in the ring, but I think he has to look better.
For me,
this is me being picky.
For me, it just felt like it was just at the point, the build up, and it seemed like a big match, and then what they deliver was kind of like just something that was just taking space in the card.
Yeah, even
it
match
was like
the finish.
That downer 1995 or 6 women's match you threw before the main event.
No, I mean the finish felt like it just came out of nowhere. So it's again, this is me being picky on the wrestling side. The fans love it. If you love the match as a fan, phenomenal. You have the right and the choice to love it, hate it, boo it, cheer it. Yeah. But me,
you mean you can't camp out at Jimmy's house and put signs in?
No, I can't. I can't.
Okay.
But what? Sure. Okay, on that, did you know? I know we didn't touch on it on the Bray Wyatt documentary.
No, we didn't touch on it.
All right, but the history regarding the Usos, that they were working at a furniture place.
Yes.
All 3 of them. But
yeah.
That was pretty good.
Yeah.
So it's like so like that I commend. The hustle and the work. But yeah, that I wasn't again, this is me being picky.
Now, that match there, had a lot of potential of being something, to steal the show. But again, it left a lot to be desired, in my opinion. And moving on to the women's tag team trios match, we saw Bianca Belair, Naomi, and Jade Cargill taking on Damage Control.
I didn't like
what
it.
You thought about?
I didn't like it.
Jade Cargill there. I mean, a lot of speculation, a lot of hype.
Well, okay, the fans were waiting and they wanted her. You could hear them chanting. When she got in, I don't think she delivered. She got over, but I don't think she delivered.
I mean, but she looks great.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's time will tell where things are gonna go, but as far as
she'll get there.
And appearance,
I think the great. WWE. I think they're packaging and protecting her. Mm-hmm. I think they know there's a lot of potential there. Obviously, what they did on Monday night, with her. So they, they're building her. But no, I wasn't a big fan of that match. But
no. Moving on, the match that I thought was one of the best matches on the card was the Intercontinental title match as Sami Zayn took on Gunther.
I did watch the whole match.
And that match there, we expected a hard-hitting battle and a back-and-forth type match, and it was, from beginning to end that storytelling when Sammy was about to go through the curtain and Kevin Owens was standing there waiting to give him that oof before he went out, and his wife and his son and all this story, and I thought it was a good ending to that deal there.
Yeah, that was a tough one because I was trying to go off the memory. So Gunter, he beat Pedro Morales, if I'm not mistaken.
I think he did one over the record. I'm not sure.
So he held the record. So this is okay. So if anyone wants to confirm that, type it in there. But if I'm not mistaken, he beat the record, which is great. So he beat the record.
Did we pull it up? I think Danny pulled it up on the screen.
Did you pull it up, Danny?
I'm not sure if he beat Pedro Morales' record in the Intercontinental Championship run there, Gunter.
Oh, yeah.
He did, right?
Yeah.
By a couple of days? All right. So I think they got the point across. They made Gunter.
Yeah.
And then with Sammy going over, they made Sammy.
Yeah.
I think if Sammy lost,
where do you go from there?
I think that's the problem. I think they built it up so good.
Definitely, I'm a Gunther guy. I believe he's that type of guy we're going to see in the main event soon as far as the heavyweight championship contendership is. And I think this could probably open that opportunity to move up the ladder when it comes to that. Then, it was the match everybody was waiting for. Main event, tag team matchup. It was a night of tag teams on night one. Tag team matchup as Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins took on Roman Reigns and The Rock. You watched that match at all?
I did. I wish I could watch 20 minutes less of it. I thought it was too long.
Yeah.
That's probably the biggest thing I had. I thought it was too long.
I mean, I thought the match...
I think it was 44 minutes.
The match started slow, but then it moved up and it had its moments. Yeah. I thought it was... When it got started, when they started, steaming, I thought it was a good pace, and I thought everybody got their point across, and, definitely The Rock pulling the victory at the end there, I thought gave more to the whole Cody thing, being at a disadvantage. Him personally having that victory that didn't take away from Roman and anyone else. Anything could have happened. People could have came in. It was like an open situation, but at the end, The Rock and Roman Reigns were victorious in the main event there in night one. He looked great, man. As far as I'm concerned, he looked great. He looked, ready to go for the time that he been in a hiatus from the ring. I believe like 10 years he didn't have a match. He definitely looked good in there, like riding a bike. And I liked his gear.
Gear wasn't bad.
He was marking out to Elvis.
Was that first night or second night?
Oh, both. Now he's wearing the bell bottoms.
Oh yeah, I like that.
And that's the
bell
Elvis.
Bottoms.
That's the Elvis deal. The pull away bell bottoms.
Wonder where you get that idea.
Because he's a fan of Elvis.
Yeah.
That was WrestleMania Saturday night, and then the following night was the big one. The night that is always, the bigger night of now the two WrestleManias.
Yep. Some people weren't happy about that one. I'm not going to tell you who Mrs. Blackheart, but she was very upset when she...
Back-to-back WrestleManias?
Well, yeah, she goes, what do you mean it's another... Like,
it's 2 nights.
That's what I said. I said, it's a national holiday.
Yeah, where's she been hiding?
Yeah,
the whole weekend.
Well, I think she was hoping...
She was hoping you didn't watch the second night?
Yes, I think that's what it was.
Well, second night kicked off with a bang as the World Championship was on the line. Seth Rollins taking on Drew McIntyre. We saw some familiar faces in that entrance there for Drew McIntyre. Teddy Goods was part of that, and also Brian Starr, one of our guys in RCW. He's going to be doing some work for Showcase pretty soon. So those guys got to be a part of that entrance. Cool experience, if I may say so myself. But yeah, that match was definitely a good match right from the get-go. You watched that one?
Good match, good story. Again, I like what came out of it. There was a lot of different angles coming out of that, and obviously some happened and some were set. So it was good. The biggest problem I had with that match was how many times can you kick someone in the face and not beat them.
Well,
you know. So I mean, I'd be happy to do demonstrations with people. Let me see how many times I can kick you in the face before you get up. That was the biggest thing I had with that.
That was your pet
That was
peeve?
yes, absolutely.
I thought for the moment and for the hype and the adrenaline, I thought, it was well put together. There was many scenarios. Like I've heard Julio saying to me, Priest is going to cash in. I thought of that too. But when Drew won the match and he stood in the ring.
And was on his knees.
I said, they're not going to do it. I related back to March Anniversary when Rambo cashed in on Thompson. I'm like, the only way this is going to happen if it ends like this is Drew's going to have to walk up the ramp and he attacks him from behind and brings him back. Because he's not at a disadvantage. So why would you cash in when a guy is fresh?
See, what I thought is when he was on his knees and he was crying.
You thought he was going to hit him with a curb stomp?
And he had his hands, and they had a good camera shot. The ref was able to give it. Yeah. And I thought that's when the music was going to hit.
Yeah,
right before.
Right there, that would have been a disadvantage because Drew was, still able to go. Now, then he went over to the table. Then he went over and got into a confrontation with Punk. Yep. And when they dragged that out, I'm like, yes, definitely. Yeah. No, he's cashing in, So
it was good.
It was a great reaction. I mean, comparison night 1 to 2 being there, it was like day and night. I think night 1 was colder to kick off the show. People had their hands in their pockets. I know I did. Yeah. So night 2 definitely tremendous ovation when Priest went over and he cashed in. And I know for me being Puerto Rican, of course I'm gonna be biased. What? First champion since Pedro. So kudos to Priest for getting it done, and we'll see where it goes. I mean, I know Triple H is a big advocate for Damian Priest, so we'll see how that run's gonna turn out.
Well, I like it too because did he grow up in Philly or was he a New Jersey guy?
He was Jersey, but it's one of those deals. Like I lived in Camden, all those surrounding areas are like you cross the bridge.
Yeah, so I mean,
you're in Philly.
I think that part is cool.
So he was raised in the beginning in Vega Baja, and he lived in Vega Baja, and then he came as a teen back to the States, and that's where he resided in New Jersey. So
it's I think it was at the press conference later that night, which I didn't know they were doing it.
Yeah.
I was just waiting for the end, and then all of a sudden they switched into it, which was good. I think it was 10 years ago. He was security at WrestleMania.
Yeah, he was security at WrestleMania.
Down on his luck financially.
And he was living in his car, if I'm not mistaken, and stuff like that. So, again, kudos to him. Congratulations for getting the World Championship there, Damian Priest. You watch any of the other matches night 2?
I did. I watched everything.
We're running there. Let's see what was on second. You remember what was on second on night 2? I'm trying to pull everything off here from the lineup.
I don't.
US title match?
It was the U.S. title match. It was a triple threat.
Yep.
Triple threat for the United States Championship. Logan Paul, the Viper Randy Orton, and KO Kevin Owens. Another match that I thought it was a great match.
Yeah, I mean, I hate when people say, "Oh, that guy's a natural." Logan Paul is good. No, he's good. He's checking all the boxes. I think he's enjoying what he's doing. I think the company's enjoying what they're doing. The Prime sponsorship is working. I mean, that was the first time that you saw sponsorship in the middle of the ring.
Yeah.
I mean, if I'm not mistaken, Vince did not like that. Vince saw it as a sacred ground. So you saw sponsorship.
The Prime logo.
Yeah.
And turnbuckles. A lot of people didn't like the turnbuckles.
I like the turnbuckles.
I mean, but when you get those paychecks, it's all about the Benjamins.
Well, no, I think the Prime. I think they should have had it maybe not in the center of the ring, which is Prime spot. Maybe it should have been bigger.
Yeah.
Maybe it should have been bigger. And but no, I mean, again, kudos, good match.
Well, going back and before we get ahead, going back to storytelling. So now we see, Kevin Owens coming about to hit the Gorilla Precision, and I'm saying, yep, Sami Zayn's going to be waiting for him near the curtain, and of course he was, and he gave him the pat on the back and go get it done, but unfortunately he came up short. What do you think about Kevin Owens? Where do you think he goes from this point now?
I don't know, man. I when's the last time those two feud? Zayn and Owens?
I mean, it was a couple of years back, but then they did the whole reuniting, and they had that run against the Usos. So I don't think they'll recycle that.
So that's only the part I was thinking. I like the story of it, but I wasn't sure of the timeline. So I'm not sure. Maybe he'd be bitter.
Yeah.
Maybe somebody says something to him, and he gets mad at that person, and then it goes down.
Well, one of the matches we skipped before we, and then again, the United States Championship, Logan Paul with the victory there. We saw a lot of different moments, back and forth with Randy and KO, and his lackey got involved with the Prime bottle and all that. And, interesting matchup. Logan Paul retaining the United States Championship. I believe before that match, we had that tag team matchup, which was the AOP.
I didn't like it.
And Final Testament there.
I didn't like it.
You didn't like the street fight?
It was. Yeah, I didn't like it.
It was the street fight with Final Testament and the Street Profits and Bobby Lashley in a Philadelphia street fight.
Yeah, I didn't like it.
Well, a lot of stuff going on in that one. To be honest, I took a bathroom break. I came back.
I did like seeing Bubba.
Yeah, Bubba was special.
The only thing I was very surprised, a lot of times obviously I haven't seen Bubba in ages, but when he was on TNA, got in that great condition.
Yeah.
So I think
he looked like old Bubba.
Yeah, he did. But on the other hand,
Put on a little bit of size.
Yeah,
a little bit of weight.
Stripes don't make anyone look thin.
Yeah, they usually make you look bigger.
Yeah, so it's like I think that gave him a disservice to what he's been doing over the years.
Yes, definitely.
But no, I like how they tied that in. Yeah. I thought that part was good. It's just I'm not a big street fight kind of guy. I always look at the selfie.
Usually you end up getting tied to poles or bound to a table.
Okay. I'll take being tied up or taped up. But no, I always look at the safety of the talent. And it was hard hitting. The girls got involved a couple of times. So no, it was, and even like Paul Ellering, we saw Paul at the beginning. Yeah. And then where'd he go?
I have no idea.
And I think
maybe he went to the bathroom.
Well, maybe.
I didn't see him.
Did you look over to the left? Look over to the right?
I didn't see him there, but who knows? Another big matchup that we've been building up for a little while. That to me, it was kind of. It left certain things for me. Mm-hmm. LA Knight taking on AJ Styles.
Mm-hmm. I did watch that one. It was good. Mm-hmm. I mean, I look at it. I mean,
it felt like something was missing though?
A little bit. I mean, I thought it would be better.
Yeah.
Like I thought the match would be good. I just thought it would be better.
I mean, they had that heat going into it the night before where he busted his nose and they got into a fight and all this stuff. I figure there'd be a lot more physicality when it came to the final chapter there, but completely the opposite.
Yeah, no, and I'm not sure of their ages, but they're both in their 40s.
Yeah,
they both look good.
Both those guys look great.
They're going, and it's testament to both of them. So I watched it. I thought it would be something more. I'm not sure what it more would be. I thought something more of it.
Yeah, I did think that there was something else missing there. But yeah, LA Knight victorious over phenomenal one, AJ Styles, which took us to the WWE World's Women's Championship match as Bayley challenges Io Sky, and I thought that match was a great match with Bayley and Io.
I was very surprised when I watched it. I'm not totally a big fan of women wrestling.
Yeah.
Never mind women Japanese wrestling.
Yeah.
All right.
Like Riho.
And this is the problem I have. If you told me that she was Riho, I probably would have believed you.
No, she wasn't Rio.
No, because
definitely not Rio.
Some days the Japanese girls look very generic.
Yeah.
But watching it, like, she's good.
Yeah.
There's no question. She's good, solid. But I think she was. I'm like, what's this girl doing power bombs for? Like she was doing and so that I didn't agree with that.
Tiger bombs, power bombs, suplexes.
Yeah, so that I didn't agree because of her size. But match-wise, really good. Bailey, great selling. You know, with the injury, so that part was good.
Yes.
T-Rex wants to call in. No, go to bed.
Yeah.
Why don't you do your L cast, your R cast, your M cast, your X cast?
Yeah, definitely. Io Sky and Bailey, a great matchup, and Bailey capturing once again the WWE World's Championship there. I think a lot of matches that are gonna get put together now and challengers for Bailey that are gonna be great. So that's always interesting when it comes to good women's wrestling. Then that took us to the main event finally. Mm-hmm. The story 2 years in the making as the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes took on the Tribal Chief Roman Reigns. You watched that match?
I did watch that match.
Okay, take us through it. I seen it live. What your thoughts?
Oh, so before we go in there, let me ask you a question. Were you watching on your phone? Were you watching it live? Were you watching the match? Were you watching the people?
I was a mix of both because, like I said, the night before, even The Rock, which I expected the freaking place to tremble, the entrance was bland. Mm-hmm. The people wasn't really involved. It sounds a lot different on the television, but being there, the reaction wasn't what. And especially in a stadium, the way that the link is set up is really open in comparison to other scenarios. So maybe that didn't help out. Yep. But yeah, definitely night 2 had a bigger pop, and right from the going when the guys were coming out and stuff like that, I could hear it. The entrances and all that was cool. But yeah, I thought the match, it started off as a regular counter that they went back and forth with some wrestling and then worked towards the end of the big moments that were scheduled to happen in that match.
Yeah, no, you knew there was going to be interference just based on the rules. Or you knew when Roman got in trouble, people were coming.
Yeah.
That part was good. It had again, I like the story behind it. I think.
Looking at the scenario, how things were going back and breaking stuff down, looking at the scenarios, how the match was put together, like the interference spots and all that stuff. If you go back and watch WrestleMania from the prior year, it's similar because the running from the Usos was the same way that was set up the year before that. Same scenario there. The big spot where Solo comes out of nowhere and hits him with the spike, which was the finish last year, happened this year in the same exact way. Other than that, the newer people being involved were the big difference. But if you watch the match, the structure and some of those spots until we got to like The Rock and Seth Rollins and Undertaker, everything was the same. So, what do you thought about Undertaker being the one that came out? There was speculations that it was going to be Hogan. Then it went to like Stone Cold.
I thought Austin was coming because on the first match that night when they took out a table, you saw a cooler.
Yeah.
So I'm like, somebody let the cat out of the bag.
Yeah.
And then it didn't happen.
Well, it's usually a cooler with drinks underneath the ring.
Yeah, well,
there's somebody underneath that ring. Yeah.
Well, no, it was stacked up with tables.
Yeah.
But I think there was good storytelling between Cena coming down and then with Seth coming down. And I think so you heard the music. What did you think?
Well, a lot of people that were sitting next to me thought it was Moxley.
And I thought this, I'm like, holy shit, what happened there? But then
going back to the storytelling and tying stuff together, and even the celebration afterwards, majority of those people that were involved were people that couldn't take the reins off Reigns. So, it makes sense to put him out there Cody finally got it done. We're all gonna celebrate. You know, those were people that came up short during his time as champion. But at the same time, there's a lot of things that were left unturned. I could see, I can see the celebration with LA Knight not being so genuine. Well, I can see the celebration with Randy Orton maybe not looking so genuine. So those are people that could possibly down the line.
So I was watching, and I was watching how they were doing the shots, and I was looking for boo-boo faces, and some for real, and some for, some for. So I'm looking at it, I'm like, okay, where are they going?
I definitely see a Randy Orton turn at some point because ultimately he wants the title. Yeah. And so, LA Knight as well. Yep. So, it's interesting. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah, no, it was good because from there, that's when they went to the. Do they call it a media scrum too, or is that just AEW?
The press conference?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a press conference.
Right. So they brought Damian Priest in. Mm-hmm. I think it was Priest,
Cody,
Bailey, Cody, and then Triple H.
Yeah.
So, it was good. So I didn't know they did that on night one. I would have watched it on night one.
Yeah.
No, that was good. Priest, again, he told his story. And it's funny, not funny, haha. It's just when he was like, they brought up diversity. And it was like, when did Pedro have the title? What year?
80s. It was 80s.
So it had to be 81, 82.
Yeah, I wasn't even born when that.
Oh, yeah, you're young. I think it was. Well, you got to figure Hogan was. Danny, you want to bring that up?
You want to pull it up? When was Pedro? When did Pedro won the?
I want to say 81. This is me just guessing. But for the fact that there hasn't been.
Pedro was a Triple Crown.
Yeah, like I remember Pedro being Intercontinental.
Yeah, he was a tag team and Intercontinental champion. He was the first Triple Crown champion, I believe.
So that was, and that's, what was he feuding with? Was it Valentine he was feuding with?
Valentine, I think he. 71.
71. Okay, I'm 10 years off, but no, but like I remember him going for the Intercontinental.
Yeah.
And the fact
I think the Intercontinental was towards the 80s.
Yeah.
And that was probably getting close to the end of his run there. So yeah, definitely the World Championship was way before our time.
How do you wait 50 years? Almost 50 years.
We had a lot of guys that had the potential to get that run. Yeah. Guys like Savio, not being biased again, but definitely the guy was a guy that could go and had the support from not only fans here that liked them, but fans in Puerto Rico. Obviously, judging by Backlash. Wasn't Backlash last year?
Yeah. No, that was.
Yeah, you look at that pay-per-view and you see the type of the reaction that he gets on a daily basis, as well as Carlito, which was another one that I thought that eventually he would get the World Championship, but it never happened. And like you said, 50 years.
Yeah, no, that's because you don't think about it, and I wouldn't think it would be done intentionally. Some days you just don't have the right guys to line up.
Well, in my opinion, I just thought always that when it came to at least WWE or WWF at that time, they looked at Puerto Rico as a territory. They looked at Puerto Rico as a place that they're going to cheer for whoever the champion is in the States. So they never felt obligated to create the next star from Puerto Rico. And now they're trying to get every market, every ethnicity, and they feel obligated to create a star for that purpose. So, prior years, I think that's what was basically the shit out of luck card for the guys that were there.
Well, how ironic is that? Because Vince Sr.'s, what he used to do is he used to have a champion for every ethnic group.
Well, yeah, what they're doing now, Vince Sr. is the one that started that. Obviously, New York City, you had Puerto Ricans, Italian, blacks. You had that group that, was populated in the city. And they
always had somebody.
Definitely had that, and even before Pedro, they had Miguel Perez Sr. and Rocca. They still hold sellout in the Garden, the record for sellouts in the Garden. So they definitely went back to that type of. And I'm getting ahead of myself here with history, but you can look it up. They got
history. Why should you know your history?
We had that conversation last night.
We did. If you ever think you stop learning in pro wrestling, either get re-educated or just
Who you been hanging with?
leave.
Mitch?
Oh, that was funny.
Mitch?
No, those are good. See, I like stories like that. You know, I always love it. You know, you tell guys, you know, you give them information and you tell them some stuff, and they look at you like, yeah, that's good, but then they hear from somebody else and they get a different story, like, oh wow, man, that's really good.
Yeah.
You know, like, so you know, it was good. So now, hey, we'll just do plugs right now for that.
Yeah.
So for
speaking of plugs and the school and whatnot, Showcase Pro Wrestling Training Center, 126 Main Street in Woonsocket, Rhode Island, where they have Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays. All the info.
ShowcaseProWrestling.com, or you can go to all of our social media at SP Wrestling. You can send a message, send an email, or just come down. I mean, it's WrestleMania season. Everyone's still feeling it. If you have that feeling, if you ever question yourself about thinking of doing it, just do it. We had a new guy that came in this week. You know, you could just tell he was in awe.
Yeah.
You know, he was enjoying it. He was learning, and he was like, and usually the biggest thing we get is people say, I wish I knew or wish I started earlier. So get off the couch, get off the excuses. I'm going to give you a hint. You're never going to be in the shape that you need to be to go to pro wrestling school. You're just not. Just get, and let's get you going, get you started.
Yep, definitely get you going, get you started. And speaking of getting it started, tomorrow night, we're back in action, April 12th, Friday night, in Upton, Massachusetts, Blackstone Valley Tech, 7 p.m. bell time, live wrestling returns. Talk to us about that.
Yep, so on that one, all online tickets are shut off. You can get tickets at the door.
Okay.
So nothing, and if you do get your tickets online, it's really simple. Whatever you place an order, you got an order number, just screenshot that and bring it, or you can print it out. So some people, it's like, oh, why don't you use this or that? So the reason we don't use some other services is to keep the costs down for the tickets.
Okay.
So that's why we don't mail it, and that's why we don't use some of the outside vendors. If you go to Ticketmaster, you know, you complain about the, you know, it's almost the
like
price of the ticket. Yes. So the average cost for a ticket that, for now, I think is $1.37. So if you buy a ticket for $15, like from there for tomorrow night, it's $20 for ringside. It's $10 for general. If you did it online, $10 ticket is $11.37.
Yeah.
So which is good. So
tickets online are off. You gotta get your
online
tickets
are
at
off,
the
but
door.
if you do, you can screenshot it. We also do have a master list at the door to make it easy, a quick check-in process. But all tickets are available at the door.
At the door tomorrow night, April 12th, 7 p.m. bell time, Blackstone Valley Tech in Upton, Massachusetts. Join us there for live wrestling tomorrow. Following night, Saturday night, we return to the Showcase Pro Wrestling Arena and Training Center in Woonsocket. That's a 7:07 p.m. bell time, Saturday night.
Yes.
And we might see some qualifying matches. You know, the road to the gold tournament. And,
so we will get into more of the road to go.
We're actually going to announce a bracket, but we're not done with the plugs yet.
Yeah.
So
that will be in. Speaking of plugs, should we tell what it is also?
Mike is yours.
So D-Rex, I know you're sleeping right now, but Saturday is D-Rex's birthday.
Yeah, actually, have him call in if he's still watching. He's up. Have him call in and talk to us about the 13 when he's gonna get like 17 chops and 20 backdrops and
he could have the birthday defending of the YouTube title all night long.
I don't know. I wouldn't be announcing any celebration when you got guys gunning off for your title.
No.
Chop shop.
Yeah.
19 chop.
So D-Rex, now you can call in. I won't tell your mom that you're calling in. I'm sure you're hiding.
It's bedtime.
Yeah.
He's probably cuddling with that belt. I hear that there's the official unveiling of the new Showcase Pro Wrestling YouTube World Championship. So, you know, he might be waiting at the door at the training center.
Yeah. But yeah, so if you want to celebrate with D-Rex, come down on this Saturday at 7:07
p.m. bell time.
Doors open a half an hour before bell time, so 6:37.
Yeah. you might get some cake.
There's supposedly, there's supposed to be
Oh
cake.
no, the cake is earlier in the day. You wasn't invited to the gathering at the house.
Again, 2 years in a row. That's it.
Well, you know.
All
Yeah,
right.
but until we get connected, if
Are
he
you
is,
sure you should be having cake?
if he is online, and he'll call in.
Well, he's probably crying.
The
'cause
following week, our friends over at Royal Crown Wrestling.
I am getting good. I did not write it down. Royal Crown Wrestling on the other side of Boston.
Yes,
It's a
Peabody, Massachusetts, Saturday night, 7 p.m. bell time. It's going to be hardcore as
Uh-oh.
the main event features the legend himself, homicidal, genocidal, suicidal. Sabu will be in the house, and he will be in the corner of Blaze Haram as he takes on Big Brian Starr in a hardcore match. Anything goes. Great matches lined up for that card. Talent from all over the Northeast and different places. Some familiar talent from Showcase. A mixture of new talent, new matches. And also the IWA Women's Championship will be on the line as Evie De La Rosa defends the title against Sammy Chaos. And I believe Sammy is one of the first appearances in that area. So that's going to be a great match there. Women's Championship match in Peabody. Next Saturday night, April 19th. RoyalCrownWrestling.com for all the info. Royal Crown Wrestling and all the social medias. Get your tickets and join us there next Saturday in Peabody.
Close.
Now,
Next Friday.
next Friday in Peabody. You see, it's just
It's a lot of
it's just 'cause
wrestling.
a lot of wrestling.
We'll tell
But
people why.
Saturday night, we're definitely back again in action as we return to the Taunton BFW Hall, 82 Ingle Street in Taunton, Massachusetts for the Road to the Gold Tournament. One-night tournament to determine the number one contender for a championship. Could be any championship. Could be the Sons of Liberty Championship. Could be the YouTube Championship. It could be the Heavyweight Championship. So we'll find out, and we are gonna find out because we got the brackets that were pulled earlier today. No cheating out of the hat.
Well, we never know. That is
no cheating.
a March anniversary. All those people are pulling the names out legitimately.
Well,
Now, I will complain about I have not seen the brackets.
the names were.
I
We did it digitally, so that way
Yeah, but
we don't have little hands of Blackheart and
No.
certain commissioners.
I'm going to complain about this one.
We did it digitally where it's
Miss-
fair. You
Miss-
enter all the names in a roster. and
Mr.
it gets-
Cena,
Mr. Cena had nothing to
you
do.
didn't send me the link. Muldoon,
he approved
you
it.
didn't send me the link.
So,
Yeah.
it was generated digitally.
All right,
so that
no.
way we keep the little
No.
hands of the little Blackheart
I'm just
out of the pod.
The link that I received, it kept saying, no one's there.
Well,
no one's there.
It's kind of like the mic when it doesn't work. What
Yeah.
do you do? You have that bracket there, officially the bracket for the Road to the Gold Tournament. And if you could turn that monitor over so I could see, Daniel, there it is on screen. On screen right now, one of the first matches to be generated digitally.
Which is more than fine.
Big Matt Thompson, the former champion, will go one-on-one against the Bionic Beast, Dan Vadandi. Are you ready for that challenge,
That's
Daniel?
going to be a good one. Last time me and him had a chop shop match, and we're going to light the place up.
Well, definitely it's going to be a big battle there.
Battle of the Monsters on that one. That's a good one.
The second match of the Road to the Gold Tournament features one superstar, Char Candido, taking on, who is it? Is Brett Metro, debuting in Showcase Pro Wrestling, taking on the superstar Sean Candido in the first qualifying match. And the big surprise here, see, anything could happen when you do things kind of digitally and, nobody's hands is on it. You're going to like this one.
All right.
Third match, myself taking on Alex Rated. What are the odds of that?
Well, see, the only good part about how it was done, you can't blame me.
Well,
So-
I would have blamed you.
Right. So,
but
wait a minute.
since
So
it
if,
was,
if a
you
computer,
should be. I
if
told
a
you.
computer brings it, it's okay. But if I did it,
a computer
come
brings
on.
it, it's fair.
all
So,
right.
you
all right.
know,
No,
This is why I say you're gonna like.
All right,
this.
no, it's good.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah.
I think it's good for both of you because as you guys are a good tag team, but good tag teams can also be good singles.
Yes. So
all right, so that was
we'll
good.
find
all right,
out. Let the best man win there, and the final bout in that Road to the Gold tournament, the first round there, Osiris will battle the consistent one, AZ. So that's all happening
All right.
next Saturday, April 20th, in Taunton, Massachusetts, at the Taunton BFW Hall, 82 Ingle Street. And that is a 7:07 p.m. bell time. Get your tickets now, showcaseprowrestling.com. Don't miss out. There you have it on screen. We also reached 1,000 subscribers, 1,001 now. We're working into 2,000 now. And
Well, speaking of working, I mean, you said Royal Crown Wrestling, so we do have other organizations that we're working with.
yes, we got somebody on the phone.
Who's that? Is that little D-Rex?
Hello? What's going on?
I don't know who it is.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Who is it?
Sweet.
It's D-Rex.
Yes, sir.
So I heard you're napping with a certain title that we're not gonna mention.
I'm gonna plead the fifth on this one.
You're gonna plead the fifth, okay. So talk to us
Well,
about
listen.
this Saturday in Woonsocket.
Of course. So, this Saturday, April 13th, the Showcase Pro Wrestling Training Center, my home base, we got the D-Rex birthday bash. I'm hyped.
You're hype. You're ready to go. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
you're turning
Get this, right?
the big 1-7.
Uh-huh. And, get this, I even have a date to this show.
You have a date. He has a date to the show, Chris Blackheart.
She's
So are you
beautiful.
gonna be? If I'm not mistaken, so it's your birthday bash. You're gonna be hosting this show on Saturday. Is that's what's going down?
Yes, sir. With permission of the boss, Chris Blackheart, and the Puncher Don Vega, I will be hosting the show, indeed.
Okay, so he's gonna be hosting the show, Chris Blackheart. He's got a date. Chris is a little pissy about not getting invited to that kayfabe deal before the show, but he'll get over
Again.
it. It's fine. It's all right.
It won't be the
Chris,
last time.
You get to meet my date. Oh, she's beautiful. She has this nice silver base, and she's cultured too. She has all these flags, and and on the side she has a name tag that says how much she loves me. I'm really excited for you to meet her.
Is this a real girl, or are we talking about something else here? How's he talking
I don't
about?
know what gender. I wonder though.
Oh man. Well, D-Rex,
Things
are getting a little bit weird. I don't know what you're talking about, but we'll definitely see you. We'll see you tomorrow night, but we'll definitely see you on Saturday, April 13th in Woonsocket for your big birthday bash there at the Showcase Pro Wrestling Arena.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I will be there.
All right. Thanks for calling in.
Of course. Thanks for having me. Later,
All right.
boys.
There you see it. There you have it, Chris Blackheart. What he's talking about?
I don't know. I can't.
Silver. Why she like silver makeup?
I have no idea.
What kind of makeup a girl's wearing that?
As older I get, I do realize the age gap of trying to figure out some of the young
That's
kids.
a new word for makeup, silver?
I don't know.
Red?
I don't know. I can't figure out.
I'll tell you what, that poor belt between him and Roger Williams, man, I wouldn't want to have that title.
Well, we'll definitely
Without
find out what
anyway.
he's talking about this
Yeah, I
Saturday.
know.
We'll definitely find out, what's going to happen leading towards the big Road to the Gold tournament on the 20th in Taunton. You have anything else for this week?
What do I have? I'm not sure what I have.
I mean, we're coming off a big week.
Yeah, no, it almost it kind of feels like a WrestleMania hangover. There's a lot of wrestling in the last 30 days, and even going forward, we have a lot of. I mean, we went over our event for the other day.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we're working with some different organizations between Showcase, USWF, UWE, Royal Crown, Powerhouse. So there's going to be a lot of influx of talent coming in and out between some our guys who train underneath our roster and on our main roster showcase and for other rosters coming together. So it's a good time.
Yeah.
So give some plugs out there too to UWE. They're doing a taping at the facility back on April 27th. That is a Saturday. We have a couple of guys going down there. So visit Ronnie and Craig online at UWE on all their social media. If you're out in New York State area, if you want training, reach out to them. Good crop of guys. So.
Yeah, definitely go reach out, add them on all their social media, and stay tuned for all the developments as far as, all these groups coming together and doing, like I said, different matches, different talent, and people mixing it up together. For this week, I think we've covered everything. I mean, we're still on the high, like you said, from WrestleMania. We're getting set for tomorrow night. You got to get some rest, go down, lay down. Busy day tomorrow.
Oh, it is a busy day, man. Let's put it this way. My day started at 11:30,
So, definitely, if you're out there, tickets are closed off online, but there's still tickets available at the school tomorrow, April 12th, Blackstone Valley Tech, 7 p.m. bell time in Upton, Massachusetts. Go down, get your tickets. Live wrestling, a lot of surprises. Go and support the school. It's for a good cause.
Yep, it's for the class of 2025. Now that's about 25 minutes south of Worcester. It's about 40 minutes from Providence.
Yeah.
So we're right in the area of 146. It's not a far drive.
I'm waiting for all my Powerhouse fanatics in Worcester to come down and check me out tomorrow night and come support a good cause and have some fun and say hi and scream and yell and boo and cheer because it's all part of the show.
Big signs. You can bring big signs.
It's all part of the shows. Now, when the show is done and we're leaving the building, I don't want to talk. Okay. With that being said, this is all we got for tonight. We'll see you tomorrow night in Upton. We'll see you on Saturday for the big birthday bash, D-Rex in Woonsocket, for Chris Blackheart, the boss, for Don Vega. This has been the Showcase Pod. We'll catch you next week.